1280, The Patriot.
WWTC, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
The official radio station of Decision 2016. The most important election of our lifetime.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. That massive Canadian wildfire continues to grow today. Alberta Premier Rachel Notley says people won't be going back to towns like Fort McMurray anytime soon.
The gas has been turned off, the power grid has been damaged, and large portions of the city don't have power right now. The water is not currently drinkable. There are no stores open. There's a great deal of hazardous material to be cleaned up.
She spoke to CTV. Rain is falling in the region. That's going to help a bit, but Canadian authorities say it would take an awful lot of rain to stop the fire from growing. They think it could double in size soon. People are cleaning up in eastern Colorado after a series of tornadoes swept through yesterday. The National Weather Service says at least 4 twisters hit Yuma County, about 100 miles east of Denver, near Colorado's border with Nebraska and Kansas. This is SRN News.
Mark Levin is tired of the calls of a rigged political system.
I'm just sick and tired that Trump is trying to give the impression that he's a political virgin. Poor Donald Trump. He's out there just playing by the rules, and everybody's trying to screw him. We've never seen anything like this. The whole system's rigged. Guy's leading. If the system was rigged, he wouldn't be anywhere close to leading. But he's leading. Just say it enough. People will pick it up. Rigged. Rigged.
Mark Levin, weeknights at 8, right after Larry Elder at 5, on AM 1280. The Patriot. Intelligent radio.
You are listening to AM 1280 The Patriot. Let's get your Blue Ox Heating and Air Weather Center updates. Today it'll be sunny and a high of 75. Tonight mostly clear with a low around 50. For Monday, expect a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms around the afternoon with a high near 65. And for Monday night, showers and thunderstorm likely with a low of 50. AM 1280 The Patriot still has some great half-off tuition deals for the 2016-2017 school year. Find out more about them at am1280thepatriot.com.
AM 1280 The Patriot.
Hey, you know, there's never anything new in the hot tub world. That is until now.
What is it, you hoser? They got different colored bubbles now?
Seriously? No. It's called Spa Boy from Arctic Spas. It probes and tests the water and generates the chlorine, so your hot tub is always clean, even with you in it.
Take off, eh? You mean Spa Boy makes the chlorine so I don't have to do all the work?
Yes, exactly. And they're the only one in the world, even up at the cabin. And I can check it from back home, too. I save money by turning it up when we're on the way.
Oh, you mean they got an app for that, eh?
Yeah, Arctic Spa's an all-weather pool or a cold-weather spa built in Canada, eh? For Minnesota's cold winters. You can swim all year long in your backyard and hardly pay anything to run it.
Hey, take off, eh? Visit them at Premier Pool and Spa in Chanhassen or online at premierpools.com.
Premier Pool and Spa, where we take fun seriously, eh?
Pro-life across America, the Billboard people. My mom and I looked at my scrapbook today. I was 21 inches long when I was born. You were that small? Yep, and I only weighed 7 pounds. My parents thought I would be a girl, but I surprised them. Well, my mom said my heart was beating before I was born. It was? Yep, 18 days from conception.
Hello, my name is Marianne Koharski. I'm the director of Pro-Life Across America, the Billboard people. If you know someone who is pregnant and in need of confidential counseling or information, please call Pro-Life Across America at 1-800-366-7773 or visit our website at prolifeacrossamerica.org. Pro-Life Across America is totally educational, non-political, and tax-deductible.
A baby is a baby is a baby. Pro-life across America, the Billboard people.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher for Park Chrysler Jeep. As a former Jeep owner, I loved every minute of my Jeep experience. Whether running to the store or hitting the open road, there's no experience like it. Mike at Park Chrysler Jeep and his team are able to get you into a Jeep that you'll love to drive with their destination location in Burnsville.
Park Chrysler Jeep's spring clearance event offers the best deals on all new Jeeps and Chryslers in the Twin Cities. 2016 Jeep Cherokees, this is the all-new award-winning redesign. Sport models as low as $21,740 over 6 60 months at 0% APR. Latitude editions as low as $22,240 over 72 months at, you guessed it, 0% APR. All rebate to dealer on approved credit. We're located just off 35W on Highway 13 in Burnsville and ParkChryslerJeep.com. There's only one Park Chrysler Jeep.
Family owned since 1957, there's a reason why people travel from out of state to have the Park Chrysler Jeep experience. Whether you need a Jeep or just need one service, there's only one Park Chrysler Jeep, or online at ParkChryslerJeep.com.
Gather round. It's time for your Real Estate Chalk Talk with the Hittner Group at Coldwell Banker Burnett. Listen closely as your coaches discuss the culture, the economy, and the political scene, and how it affects your home and your real estate investments. Real Estate Chalk Talk is where you learn the science of buying and selling real estate and the art of living in your home. Your education begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome to the program. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk, and we're broadcasting here from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studios. Summer is finally upon us. Go to realestatechalktalk.com for tools and vendor contact information to help you fix up your home and get it ready for sale. Or give us a call at 612-627-8000. That's 612-627-8000. That's the number to call. That's the one that everybody loves. Remember, we can't help you if you don't call, so call today. Summer picnic season is here, and if you're planning a family reunion or a company picnic, it's time to call Elliot. Barbecue is a favorite summertime party food, and it's so darn affordable for large gatherings. So call Elliot at 612-326-0430. He'll be happy to help you. Or just go to RackShackBarbecue.com, click on the catering link, and fill out a little information there. Elliot will reach out to you and get you hooked up at a very affordable price. Rack Shack Barbecue, it's America's food, and it is the right thing to do. Drinking those milkshakes at Rack Shack Barbecue, I'm telling you.
Pack them on.
Scary Cherry. Scary Cherry. You know what that is, Kelvin? I don't know how you like hot and spicy.
No, I don't. I don't know what Scary Cherry is.
Scary Cherry milkshake. I take a little ghost pepper New Orleans sauce, squirt it in the bottom of the cup, about an ounce, and then fill it up with a black cherry milkshake. Mix it up. You got that Scary Cherry milkshake. It is so awesome. Gives you a little tickle in the back of the throat, a little burn, and then cool down with the milkshake. And so it's not like hot, but it's really good.
A little sweet, a little heat.
A little sweet heat. Yeah.
Sweet heat.
That's
good.
Great.
So what's going on, Kelvin Kaemingk with Amic Mortgage?
What's going on this week? Well, we had a lot going on this week. Jobs report just came out on Friday, so we'll talk about that today in our time together. We'll talk about oil, how oil's going up. We'll talk where rates are at. We'll talk a little bit about the housing bubble that we're starting to get pushback on from appraisers and from Fannie Mae, actually, as we're selling them loans directly, saying, ho, 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 why are these values are going up? Are we going into a housing bubble? So now we're getting pushed back into underwriting and back to the originator.
Whoa, these values are going up.
Oh, we don't want things to increase too much. Mm-hmm. So there's actually some rhyme and reason to how they do it, so we'll talk about that. But it's been an interesting week. It's been busy. Last week, we closed out the month. We just had a phenomenal month, and we're in the heat of our season. So the next 3 months are going to be just phenomenal months, and it's fun. We talked earlier. It's fun to be busy.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's a blessing. We locked people this week. Just quick on rates. 15-year, 2.875. 15-year.
Wow.
A 20-year, 3.625, and 30-year at 3.75. So rates are right in line.
What'd you say the 20-year was?
3.625.
3.6. And a 30-year at what?
3.75.
Oh, 3.75.
Yep, 3.75. So rates are great. So we're doing a handful of refinances and a ton of purchases right now.
That's awesome. Well, we'll spend a little time talking about that market then and what's going on in the trenches, a lot of multiple offer situations, what we have going on in our inventory, and how we're handling the multiple offer situations either on listings or when we're representing buyers. So we'll spend a little time on that today as well.
We have Jeff Blixt in the studio with us this hour, and then a little later in the hour we're going to have Christopher Maclennon. He's the Director of Advanced Markets and Research at Diversified Wealth Management, so we're going to be chatting with him about that operation. And Jeff is here like he is many times throughout the year. We're going to be talking about home inspections and maybe what's new out there in the inspection world. I suppose he's just got his head spinning right now with all the activity that's going on in our real estate market. But I think right now I want to be sure that we spend a little bit of time on.
Yeah, what's the political fodder here?
I need to gloat a little bit on.
Oh, geez.
On,
that was coming.
I need to gloat a little bit because there's all this consternation over Donald Trump and this and the that and the.
He's divisive.
You know, if the people would have just listened to me 6 months ago, we could have avoided all of this and just, ran them right up the flagpole and just.
You need your waffles as much as who? Waffles as much as somebody. I don't know. Anybody.
I've never
anybody
really,
might waffle.
I've never really waffled.
More waffle than an IHOP?
Play it back.
More waffle than an IHOP.
I've been pretty consistent. IHOP doesn't have waffles, do they?
Until he said something stupid. Then.
Oh, the Waffle House.
The Waffle House.
Then the Waffle House. Okay.
So what do you think happens now in terms of give us VP ideas, cabinet? What's his strategy?
That's a good question. I think, in my opinion, Kasich has got to be right at the top of the list there because he needs Ohio so bad, and he needs Kasich's legislative experience. So he still has a lot of friends in the House, a lot of friends in the Senate. I think it would just be a real good bridge building tool that would help Trump govern. Right now, there's no question that he's lacking that. He hasn't have 40 years of experience in the government. He's been out busy employing people.
And he said that as well. Ben Carson is heading up the VP search committee, and Carson's been all over the news saying the same thing, that's what Trump wants, someone that can help him govern, that understands the inner workings of Washington.
So with that, some of the recommendations that you hear are governors of other states, maybe first-term governors. The governor of New Mexico, I think, is
some gal, yeah.
But the thing of it is that doesn't bring that Washington legislative experience to the table. It might be good on paper, but I don't think it's going to really help him all that much. Plus, it's not going to give him a state. Even Rubio, who I like, as a VP pick, and it would help secure Florida. But, Rubio didn't do that great in Florida.
No.
And so I think Trump will get Florida anyhow.
Yeah,
just because he's so popular in Florida as it is.
All those relocating New Yorkers down there?
Yeah, and it's still
coming out to vote.
And it's still, he owns so much property down there, and he's had a huge presence in Florida forever, and it's his second home. So, and Rush lives there. So
right,
Rush
relocating New Yorkers.
So anyhow, I think that's a good candidate for him, but you still come back to Ohio, man. If he doesn't get Kasich on his side, he's in trouble. And Kasich has got a huge...
Yeah, but Kasich has come out even after he said he's no longer... When he suspended his campaign, he said he didn't want to be the VP.
Well, what's interesting about this whole thing is that there's vehement opposition for both parties.
Right.
There are people in the Democrat Party that say, I will not vote for Hillary Clinton. And there are Republicans that say, I'll never be swayed to that side to vote for Hillary Clinton. She's a crook. She should be in jail, etc.
Yeah.
And then you have Trump, where it's like he's a bigot, he's a racist, he's divisive, he's all of this that people say about him. The presidential race is mind-boggling.
Pretty interesting this year.
It's pretty
mind-boggling.
It's baffling.
Never been like that before.
No. So I think that at the end of the day, we'll see how good of a deal maker Donald Trump is, because he's going to have to make some deals now.
He's got to get everybody back on his side. Paul Ryan, on Friday or Thursday night said, I'm not ready to support him, and Bush 41, 43. I think Ryan's, though, it makes me lose a little respect for him, and he's just looking out for his own political career, and he's interested in running in 2020. He's outright said that.
I think that's what you're going to have a lot of, is that they'll be, if somebody does back Trump, or when they do all back Trump ultimately, because he's going to be the nominee for the Republican Party, and then he does not get elected, and there's all this baggage then for, you supported Trump on their next, so they're thinking about themselves ultimately than the party, and moving the peg forward and getting ourselves a Republican in the White House again. So.
At the end of the day, they'll all come around.
They have to.
They'll all come around.
They don't have a choice.
Yeah, it's either that, or they're going to be seen as the person, the group of people like the former Bushes. They're the ones that brought the party down.
But I'm saying there is vehement opposition. People say about me, right? I'm a Republican, and ultimately, I don't even have to say what's going to happen at the polls, but I'm a terrible person. How can you possibly, you know what I mean? There's just so much mudslinging towards individual people, not Trump, not Hillary Clinton.
Remember, we're in Minnesota, though. So
not even in Minnesota, though. I have friends all over the country, right? And it's a lot of mudslinging and finger-pointing about how horrible you are of a person if you could possibly vote for Donald Trump. And I feel the same way about Hillary Clinton. How could one possibly ever support that woman in her quest to be the president of the United States? I don't understand it. But there are folks on the other side that feel the exact same way about Donald Trump. And it's a divided nation, no question.
See, now there's a controversy. When Clinton said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, was he really talking about Monica Lewinsky, or was he talking about Hillary?
That is, it's come up before, and I don't know if we're going to find out that answer.
Wow. I think it'll come out in the election.
I hope.
Well, on that note, we will head out to break here. We're
We
gonna pay some bills. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. Log on to realestatechalktalk.com. That's realestatechalktalk.com. There you can find all of our vendors. Right up at the top of the list is Inspecta Homes. Jeff Blixt will be talking with us in the next segment. 612-627-8000. That number again is 612-627-8000. Remember to log on to realestatechalktalk.com. We'll be right back.
Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue, yeah.
AM 1280, The Patriot.
Coldwell Banker Burnett serves home buyers and sellers in Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Our professional sales associates provide a full-service, one-stop shopping real estate experience. And we've got the latest technology to market your home or assist with your home search. Visit cbburnett.com online or on your web-enabled cell phone. Coldwell Banker apps are also available for your iPhone, iPad, or Android device. Wherever you go, we've got the home search tools you need. Go to cbburnett.com.
Today's stringent lending guidelines are challenging enough, so when you're finally ready to close, call Burnett Title to get the job done right. Since 1981, Burnett Title has been an industry leader providing title insurance and closing services for residential, new construction, and commercial transactions. With 19 closing locations, Burnett Title can expedite your closing, whether it's in the Twin Cities, Rochester, St. Cloud, or western Wisconsin. For information, call 952-844-6200 or go to BurnettTitle.com. 952-844-6200.
So you've been exploring solutions for your hair loss. You've seen ads from the national chains. You've researched the alternative products that cost a fortune, but there seem to be no guarantees. Well, I do have great news for you. This is Dennis Prager. Go to INeedMoreHair.com. See what Dr. Norton Abramson is doing for men and women like you. He's the most experienced hair transplant specialist in Minnesota and ranks in the top 1% in the nation. He's given patients in Hollywood and worldwide a full head of hair. He may well be able to do the same for you. The results are amazing. In fact, Dr. Abramson guarantees your results in writing, and his prices are some of the best in the business, as low as $3 per graft. Stop searching and go to INeedMoreHair.com today. You have nothing to lose. Call their office in Eagan for your free consultation. INeedMoreHair.com. Experience you can trust, prices you can afford. Get the only permanent solution to your hair loss at INeedMoreHair.com.
Congratulations! You finally found your dream home. They've accepted your offer. And now, you need a closing company that can bring it all home. What you need is Global Closing and Title Services. Global Closing and Title is licensed for residential and commercial transactions here in Minnesota and Wisconsin and can close anytime, anywhere at your convenience.
Call Global Closing and Title at 952-895-8400. That's 952-895-8400. Or go to gcstitle.com.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm the football your buddy fired through your windshield. The cooler that tumbled out of a pickup and onto the hood of your car. If you're a football fan, eventually we're gonna meet. So get Allstate, where agents help keep you protected from mayhem. Like me.
Are you in good hands?
Start protecting yourself from mayhem today. Call Allstate Agent Brady at 952-905-2735. Coverage subject to terms, qualifications, and availability. Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
And now, we return to the purveyors of real estate knowledge. Your Real Estate Chalk Talk.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, this is Real Estate Chalk Talk. We're broadcasting from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studio. I'm Keith Hittner Sr. here in the studio with Keith Hittner Jr. You can reach us at 612-627-8000. Kelvin Kaemingk, of course, is here from American Mortgage and Equity. We'll be talking with Kelvin about what's going on in the money markets in the fourth segment. But right now, we're excited to speak with Jeff Blixt, who's in the studio. Jeff is owner of Inspecta Homes, the oldest, most respected, largest home inspection company in the Midwest. And
wow, that's great. Just stop there. I would stop right there, Jeff.
Can I leave now?
Don't say anything.
Leave on a high note.
What has it been? 120, 130,000 homes that you've inspected?
Oh, I think it's well over 150 at this point.
150.
We've been doing this for. I was thinking about that on the way in here. The company, while it was founded in the early 80s, and actually they started doing inspections in the mid 70s when Minneapolis passed that Truth in Housing ordinance. So you take that, and it's a lot of houses.
So the company was started by your father.
Yes.
Okay, so why did he want to start a home inspection company? What made him?
Well, I think what the whole process started with the Minneapolis passing that Truth in Housing ordinance, and at that point in time, he actually owned a flooring store.
Okay.
I grew up laying carpeting.
I didn't know that.
That's what I did in college, and that's why my knees are so bad, I think. Anyway, and so what I am told, what the progression was that when they got licensed, you essentially went in, took this test that had been put together by all the different departments of inspections in Minneapolis, city of Minneapolis. You passed the test, you were anointed as a Truth in Housing official, you went out there, and as they began doing these Truth in Housing reports in Minneapolis, people that were moving out of Minneapolis to other areas outside of Minneapolis that didn't have that type of a requirement thought, geez, can you come out and do an inspection for me or an evaluation of the property I'm going to buy? And so, armed with the Minneapolis Housing Maintenance Guidelines, they went out and attempted to do these evaluations / inspections on these homes outside of that Minneapolis area. And it didn't take them long to realize that once they're outside of Minneapolis, of course, that Minneapolis Housing Maintenance Code had no bearing. And so they started looking for different some form or some set of standards to do inspections by, and that's where they came across the American Society of Home Inspectors, or ASHI, which had been founded in the mid-'70s out on the East Coast, had already developed a set of standards, a code of ethics, and they got involved with that. It was actually he and his partner at that time was Roger Hankey, and they got involved with ASHI and became involved actually on a national level, and that kind of continued to progress, and as they did more inspections, got more involved. That was when he created the National Association of Home Inspectors, which was actually put together as a risk retention group for ASHI inspectors to buy insurance through.
Oh, really?
Which E&O insurance is a big issue for home inspectors. Minneapolis, St. Paul requires that we have occurrence-based policies, and there's no one that sells them but the State Joint Underwriters Association. Nowhere else in the country do they require that. And that may, at some point in time, we may need to go and discuss that with them because we can't acquire insurance that we can't buy in the open market.
Right. So that's what happens when you've got people who, the same group then that insures homes and whatnot, that can't be insured anywhere else, or people can't buy insurance. That's where they get generally more expensive.
It's more expensive typically, and now I'm fortunate because I've been involved in it for as long as we have, and we've always had an occurrence-based policy with another vendor. We're able to go out into the market, and even with companies that don't advertise that they will do that, they will go ahead and give us a policy. But it's
wow.
How
has now Minnesota has adopted the national code for building and building code. Has that changed how you view things?
Well, not a whole lot, because again, we're not essentially doing a code-based inspection. We're doing it based on standards of practice and typical building standards. And so it's difficult to apply a code because it seems to be interpreted, even though it's been adopted statewide, it seems to still be interpreted somewhat on a local level. And so we're more interested in not necessarily something up to code, but is it functioning the way it was designed to function, and is it safe?
Yeah, it's. I had a client actually call me the other day, and we use you all the time. Love the company, Inspecta Homes. It's inspectahomes.com. 651-641-0641.
Hey, you got
That's
it.
The phone number. I know off the top of my head for
Nice
sure.
job.
We call that number a lot. But I had a client call me, and they said they were reviewing the contract to inspect. And they said, well, they don't inspect this. What do they inspect? What do they do? Because they were talking about the code. And I said, well, each municipality has different codes. And I kind of talked with them about that. But talk about what do you inspect then? Because the contract that comes over.
And again, I've read that contract, of course, and you're right. We want to be very straightforward about what we do and what we don't do, because there are definitely some limitations on private home inspectors. And private home inspectors tend not to be experts in any one area, but fairly well-rounded and knowledgeable in several areas. But like if I look at an electrical panel, I'm going to understand it. I'm going to understand how it should be wired. But I'm not an electrician. I don't have that skill set. So we have enough information, enough knowledge to be able to hopefully alert someone that this could be a potential issue. Now you need to bring in the expert to take a look at it.
So here's how that transpired then. The conversation was, well, do we need to have a home inspection? Because it seems like they don't really do much of this, or should we be doing something different? And our conversation was, no, here's what they do. It's a visual home inspection, et cetera, crawling on the roof, going through the attic, top to bottom, looking at the siding, everything that you guys do and do a great job of. We ended up having the home inspection, and we canceled the purchase agreement because during the home inspection, your inspector had uncovered some issues with the siding and some potential issues with water behind the siding and damage to windows and sheathing and things like that we didn't see when we went through the house. They're looking at it with a different set of eyes. I'm looking at it with a different set of eyes. To get a third party in to do a visual home inspection, a trained eye in identifying areas of concern, it helped them to make the decision to ultimately not purchase that house. And that's just fine in our book because we don't want them to
We don't want the
take
problem down the road.
We don't want the problem down the road.
We want to deal with it up front as much as we can.
Yep, or identify an issue where an issue is and make the buyers, have them be the ones to decide whether they want to pursue it to correct that issue later or deal with it now or cancel the purchase agreement. And it's always a smart decision to get a home inspection.
Well, and I think you're right on there that it's a neutral third party. We're looking at it very objectively. We don't have any emotional ties to it, any financial ties to it. Whereas I think often a buyer, they look at that home, and I think I was guilty of doing the same thing. I actually hired one of my inspectors to go look at the last house I built, just because I'm looking at it and I'm seeing what I want to see.
Yeah, you're looking at it with love.
Exactly. I'm saying, okay, that's where
the bed's going to go. That's where the grill is going to sit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to sit out here on the deck, and we're going to have steaks, and and so I think that's very, very typical of buyers, is they become emotionally involved in it, and so they can't see some of those things. And the other thing is when you go through a building as often as my inspectors have, there's certain things you see that tie into other areas. If I see staining in one area, I might go look somewhere else to see how they connect or how they relate to each other. So I think that given that experience, and that's really what it is, this last couple of weeks, we were talking about this before I came on the air, that I'm actually out in the field doing a lot of these truth and sale of housing.
Can you believe it?
Yeah, and it was pretty exciting to get back out there initially. Now I'm actually going down to Texas at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning to watch my daughter compete in the National Gymnastics Championships.
There'll be a little reprieve.
A little bit, although I'm not real excited about getting up at 1:30 to drive to the airport.
There's a flight at 3 a.m.?
Well, I have to be there at 3:30. My flight's at 5, which boggles my mind. But the airfare going down to Dallas was $31.
Oh, perfect.
It was $131 to come back, which is kind of, I thought was kind of funny. But so the airfare was just dirt cheap, and I thought, that way we'll be down there before 8 o'clock in the morning. We got the whole day to do stuff.
Drag your feet around because you're tired.
Well, my 16-year-old son.
Take a nap.
It was funny because my 16-year-old son, of course, wanted to stay home on his own.
Of course he did.
And so he'll be riding with me on the airplane tomorrow morning, and we'll not be very happy about it.
Well, you saved $40, Jeff, so good job with that. Anyhow.
So
I digress.
Yeah, okay, we got off on
Okay, so again, we're speaking with Jeff Blixt with Inspecta Homes. Is there anything you're seeing right now that's kind of different? Like, what are the attitudes? Are they changing? Are you having clients ask more about specific areas than they didn't before?
I don't know. Radon again the radon thing is just not going away.
Probably just a commonplace now, almost. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we've got 30 of those monitors, and we can't. We're actually running into an issue trying to get them out to houses and to test. And so, with the onset of this new licensing law, that now I've been involved dealing with that and trying to get some of the
Tell us about that.
Well, they passed a law without really talking to any of the people that do the measurement or mitigation back a year ago, and then invited us to a meeting about it. And So I've been working along with some of the mitigators, and we actually created an association for radon, I think it's the radon professionals in Minnesota. It's that new. I'm not sure what it's named yet. But we were able to work with both the senator that passed the bill and the Minnesota Department of Health and pare down some of the costs that were involved, because I'm looking at it and saying, okay, if I have to spend $1,000 to license somebody, I've got to that's got to get passed on.
We'll wrap it up next segment. We'll be right back.
Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue, yeah.
AM 1280, The Patriot.
The highly trained plumbing technicians of H2C Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing can do it all. 50 years of experience helping local homes and businesses with their plumbing needs and issues with water heaters, bathrooms, leaky faucets, and pipe repair. Providing free estimates and bringing back fair pricing to the Twin Cities. And providing 24/7 emergency service, H2C Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit myh2c.com.
When we made an offer on our dream home, it was contingent on a home inspection by Inspecta Homes. It was money well spent.
Since 1981, Inspecta Homes has helped buyers evaluate homes. They inspect everything from the grade and drainage to steps, decks, porches, and roof. Inside, they evaluate the windows, doors, and the mechanical systems, so you know you're making a wise choice. So be smart. Call Inspecta Homes for your home inspection, 651-641-0641, or go to inspectahomes.com.
Hi, I'm Randy with RB's Computer Service. For all you business owners listening right now, who is managing your network of computers and servers? I hope you have someone qualified to monitor the hundreds of events that are reported daily by the operating system. If this is not carefully sifted through, you could potentially have the system crash or be accessed via the internet along with all of your data destroyed or stolen. Why not have us manage this for you and eliminate those concerns? We are doing this already for a number of other business owners, and that lets them concentrate on their business rather than the maintenance of the computers and servers. We do it all and quite reasonably too. And we manage your backups also. You are doing that, right? Why don't you just call me today at 763-441-3884 so you can put this to rest. One more thing. If you have a broken screen on a tablet or cell phone, we fix those also. We are the experts in the IT field, and we would love to earn your business. One more time, here is the number, 763-441-3884, or on the web at rbsmn.com.
Giving your computer problems the boot. RB's Computer Service.
Overwhelmed by your next move? Then take action and call Action Moving, your local Atlas Van Lines agent. With 27 years experience, Action Moving provides quality, reliable moves guaranteed. Get free estimates and competitive rates on local and interstate moves at 1-800-328-3803 or go to actionmoving.com. That's 1-800-328-3803 and mention you heard it on Hittner Real Estate's Chalk Talk Radio. Member of the Better Business Bureau.
Wow. TPM Flooring's private showroom is amazing. Wow. I've never seen a better selection of flooring. Wow. TPM Flooring gave me an on-the-spot estimate for my hard flooring. Wow. Their installers did a fantastic job. They vacuumed their way out the door. Wow. Put the wow into your next project with TPM Flooring of Burnsville. They supply and install carpet, vinyl, hardwood, and ceramic tile for your home or business. Wow. TPM Flooring. Online at tpmflooring.com.
And now, we return to the purveyors of real estate knowledge, your Real Estate Chalk Talk.
Welcome back to the program. This is Real Estate Chalk Talk, and we're broadcasting from the Rack Shack Barbecue Studios. Say summer picnic season is here, and if you're planning a family reunion or a company picnic, it's time to call Elliott. Barbecue is a favorite summer party food, so affordable. For large gatherings, you can get that cost right down there. Give Elliot a call at 612-326-0430. He'll be happy to help you. Or go to rackshackbarbecue.com, fill out the form on the catering link, and give him a little information. Elliot will reach out to you and get you all hooked up. Rack Shack Barbecue is America's food, and it is the right thing to do. We've been speaking with Jeff Blixt, owner of Inspecta Homes, Minnesota's oldest and most respected home inspecting company. We use them all the time. Highly recommend them. Okay, so Jeff, we were talking when we went out last time, kind of ran out of time of what new stuff was coming on, and you were talking about radon and whatnot, and we talked about radon quite a bit. One thing that we did this week with an inspection over at a house off of Lake of the Isles is sewer inspection.
Oh, absolutely.
So what are you hearing from that? I mean, do you guys do sewer inspections, the cameras and all that?
We don't do them. I think that's something that a licensed plumber you'd probably call them, or someone that is in that industry.
Okay.
Highly recommended for these homes that are, if it's built probably prior to the 60s, a lot of clay tile still out there, and of course it's in a state where it's starting to collapse. So I think it's a wise thing to do.
So if you are in a home, what would you see that would indicate to you that you maybe should have a plumber or a Roto-Rooter or somebody come out and take a look?
I think anytime you have any type of clogging or backups, that type of thing. And what's important to understand is that when we go out as inspectors, we're running essentially clean water through all of that. So there could be roots in the system, there could be minor obstructions. We may not catch them. It may not back up until that family moves in and starts using it on
put toilet paper down there.
Absolutely, all the other food part, all the stuff that goes into your waistlines. And so I think it's prudent that based on the history of the home, based on where it is, what type of work has been done in the streets, that type of thing, that it may be something that they'd want to pursue.
And then the other question that I had is that based on your experience with different areas of the city, do you have some areas of the city when you go in there and you go, this area is noted for this because of a particular builder maybe that built out that area that had a common construction defect maybe, or an issue?
Probably more so with time frames, and I think about some of those homes built in the early mid-90s where we had some flashing issues. They went back and kind of beat up the stucco contractors, and it really wasn't anything to do with the stucco contractors. It was to do with tightening the homes up and then not flashing the openings properly.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some of that. We look at a home built that's in the 30s or 40s that's stucco, we're probably never going to see an issue with interior wall moisture problems. So sorry about that.
That's okay. So do you guys do do you do stucco testing then, or?
We don't drill holes in it. All the inspectors do carry moisture meters.
Okay.
And all of our inspectors now carry infrared cameras.
Okay.
And we've been kind of quiet about that. We're not charging for it at this point. They're using it on a need-to basis. Actually,
when they have suspicious about something?
Yeah, to confirm something, to look at it. I think it's one of those things that as they get a little more experience, I feel a little more comfortable about what they're interpreting.
What does that actually show?
What are you doing with that?
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So you guys inspected a property for me that I purchased, and there was a shower stall that was upstairs, and the inspector there had run the hot water in the shower to look for any type of leaking below, because there's some cracks in the grout and that type of thing. So he's looking for maybe some heat lines for where the water might be dripping down from below to see if there's any evidence of the hot water coming through the area. So I thought that was a unique way to try and detect any issues with that shower stall.
And I think that's exactly how I want them to use it. We don't see through walls. We don't see. It's thermal anomalies, and so you've got to have a delta or a change in temperature in order to pick it up. And so by running hot water in a cooler building, hopefully, if there was a leak in that shower pan that had not come out to the ceiling below or come out onto the floor, we'd pick it up. It's also an interesting way for in-floor heat and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
One of my inspectors came into my office last week and was telling me about he'd used it on an in-floor heating, and it was kind of interesting because the coils were looped. Well, what happened was the guy ran out. He tightened the coils up too tight in the beginning, and so they got stretched way out at the end. So, of course, that affected the way the floor heated.
Oh, wow.
Now, you'd never see that otherwise. So I think there's some real benefit to that, but I also think that there's
you can
a little
open
bit of
up a can of worms.
Exactly.
What do you do with that?
I said to Jeff Carlson, who's one of your home inspectors, the first time that he had it in his bag, I like to go to all the home inspections, and he pulled it out of his bag. He said, "Hey, we got a new little gadget." I go, "Oh man, this is gonna open up a can of worms." He said, "Well, we're not really using it too much yet. We're using it, getting used to the tools." And then not sure how we're going to implement it in our day-to-day inspections. But as far as like rim joist insulation goes, insulation voids, that type of thing, you're opening up a can of worms there to say, what are you going to do now? Tear the wall?
Well,
out
and that's just it. If you look at you look at a wall and you're missing 6 inches of insulation in the upper wall cavity,
it's
you're not going to tear the sheetrock down, and I mean you're just not going to do that. So. Again, that's where it becomes important to really understand what you're looking at and understand how to diagnose it. Because while we want to, make people
Take
aware.
an X-ray of a house.
we don't want to cause them additional concerns that really aren't warranted.
Right.
And,
it's like go get a whole body scan.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like they use these TIF meters, and they use that for picking up carbon-based gases, gas leaks, that type of thing. It's just one additional tool. Now, I will tell you that was a very sizable investment to buy that many high-end infrared cameras.
Yeah,
and I had hoped to recoup some of that. I'm not sure just where we're going to go.
You haven't figured out how to monetize that one yet.
That's not. Yeah, we haven't gotten there yet. But I think as these inspectors get more training on it, one of my inspectors who unfortunately had a knee replaced and just is not coming back quite as quickly as he wanted to. We're kind of looking at putting him into some of these advanced training classes around the country to come back and bring that information to the other inspectors and make them better at what they do.
Real quick to jump back to the radon. What are you seeing? Are they going to lower the level, the acceptable levels?
I don't think that's going to happen yet. I think that may happen down the road, but it's a ways off. I think what's happening now is they're just trying to get people used to it and get them to embrace this new law. I do agree that there has to be some type of something to govern who goes out and does testing, because I know for a fact, hearing back from listing agents, I get a lot of calls on it. Hey, an inspector came out, he placed this monitor, it's this type of monitor, and he put it over here. Is that right or is that wrong? Or he opened the windows, or there's some things that are being done out there that are not in accordance with the National Radon Proficiency Program, proper protocol.
What's the law that was passed, real briefly?
It's just essentially saying that anyone that does measurement is now going to have to be licensed. We were able to get them to take some of the language out that would have required all of my office staff. If they mentioned radon, they had to be licensed. And so they've gotten that taken out. Probably the biggest impact is, it's going to be with measurement people, because everyone that touches a radon monitor, places it, picks it up, is going to have to be licensed. With mitigators, they can have one mitigator licensed in the company that then will oversee the actions of all the other. Yeah. Exactly. And I kind of hope they do that with measurement, and they opted not to. With the new systems coming in, there is going to be an additional fee. They are charging a $75 tag fee for each system put in. Doesn't mean they're going to look at it, but they're going to charge the fee.
Get the money for it.
Wow.
And they've made no bones about it that essentially this is to make up for some of the lost revenue from the federal government, and this is where the Minnesota Department of Health is going to get it from. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I think that that we do need some type of
oversight,
because there is some things out there that are not being done properly.
I agree with that.
Is there a test that has to be taken in to be certified?
In order you go through a 2-day course. It's taught by a couple of different sources, mainly Bill Angel from Midwest University Radon Consortium. He also, I understand, heads the World Health Organization on radon. A very interesting guy. 2-day course, and then you take an exam. I think the passing rate on the exam is about 65%. So it's a pretty aggressive test. I think they give you 2.5-3 hours to complete it. So you do that, and then there'll be continuing education requirements and that type of thing as well.
Interesting.
So,
well, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
You can reach Jeff 651-641-0641. Maybe not Jeff, but his office staff there. Schedule your home inspection or radon test, or log on to inspectahomes.com. Calvin, any parting words for us before we go out here?
Yeah, real quick on where rates are at. We talked in the first segment, rates are in really good shape right now. They're incredibly low, so if you have a rate that starts with a 4 and for sure a 5, it still makes sense to have a conversation. Just asking you to give us a call at 651-231-2500. See if we can help you save some money. Jobs report came out. It was lower than expectations, so we're going to see rates actually potentially improve or at least stay where they're at right now. Unemployment stayed the same at 5%. Oil's up at $44 a barrel, so that's starting to come back a little bit.
Quick little market update for you. Thank you so much, Calvin. This is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. We'll be right back. 612-627-8000.
Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue. Yeah.
AM 1280, The Patriot.
New Age Technologies provides effortless entertainment and control with the push of a button. We conceive, customize, and install innovative technologies for your home and business, including home theater systems, home security, whole home audio, commercial and home automation and home surveillance, and much more. Discover our residential services or commercial services and contact us today for more information at nahometheater.com.
New Life Contracting, specialists in roofing, siding, windows, gutters, and paint for your home. New Life Contracting features GAF Master Elite Roofing Contractors. Only 1% to 2% of contractors nationwide qualify as Master Elite Roofers. That means New Life Contracting can offer better warranties on the GAF product lines. That means special training every year and extended warranties that put New Life Contracting into an elite club that wins awards and provides unmatched service and work for you since 1998. Learn more at newlifecontracting.com and click on Free Estimate.
I'm starting a Bible study. Where can I get a Bible in a good concordance?
Osterhoof's Bookstore.
I need a card with a meaningful Christian message.
Osterhoof's Bookstore.
I don't want to give just money for First Communion or Confirmation. Where can I find an appropriate keepsake gift?
Osterhoof's Bookstore. Osterhoof's Bookstore would love to meet you and help you get exactly what you need. They have Christian books, eloquent greeting cards, and memorable gifts. Osterhoof's is your go-to place for tons of tools to help you study the Bible, from page tabs and magnifiers to highlighters and bookmarks. They'll even personalize a name on your new Bible while you wait. Looking for something out of the ordinary? Osterhoof's will special order it for you, and they always offer free gift wrap. Osterhoof's Book and Gift, catering to all things Christian. Plus, they're a full-service print shop just north of downtown Robbinsdale, online at osterhuspub.com. That's osterhuspub.com.
Inefficient heating and cooling systems can really take a toll on your utility bill and comfort levels. The trained technicians at H2C have been helping local homes and business owners for over 50 years. They make sure that every system is operating at its peak performance. Energy-efficient heating and cooling systems from the highly trained experts at H2C Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, bringing back fair pricing to the Twin Cities. Visit myh2c.com.
Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue. To do you right, you take time for a barbecue flavor that will blow your mind. Get that Rack Shack attack, oh, Rack Shack barbecue. Made fresh daily, we cater to you. Homemade sauces, secret rubs too. It's America's food and the right thing to do. Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue. Yeah.
And now, we return to the purveyors of real estate knowledge, your Real Estate Chalk Talk.
Hey, welcome back to the program. Are you planning a lunch meeting or a company picnic? Get their attention with some really great food by calling the Rack Shack Barbecue Corporate Catering Hotline today. Call them 612-326-0430. Get your meeting meal ordered and feed your staff mouth-watering smoked meats, signature sides and sauces, all at a very low cost per serving. Good for the bottom line and good for the crew, and it's so easy. Just give Elliot a call. The number again, 612-326-0430, and he can take care of all the details for you and keep you well within that budget. Again, this is your Real Estate Chalk Talk. I'm Keith Ittner Sr. here in the studio with Keith Ittner Jr. and Kelvin Kaemingk, and the number to call, 612-627-8000. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can. In the studio in this segment, we have with us Christopher Maclennon.
Yes.
All right. Christopher Maclennon, Director of Advanced Markets and Research at Diversified Wealth Management. Is that right?
That's correct.
What does Diversified Wealth Management do?
It's a full-service financial company. We manage money. We manage 401ks. We do fee-based financial planning. We've got some folks that are in banks that help with some of that aspect, but it's primarily dealing with money.
I'm curious because there's so many companies out there, you know, the big brokers, the ones that advertise the do-it-yourself opportunities and all that. What differentiates you guys in your company from your competition? Good question, huh?
Yeah, it's a good question. We have a number of people working in specialized areas. We're now old enough to realize that we don't know it all. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, I mentioned 401k. Well, we've got a couple of guys that specialize in it, and that's primarily what they do. When you go to a full-service broker or a large company like Merrill Lynch, you may have an associate that's managing that and tells you that they do it, but they don't really do it. There's somebody else, you know, they have their hands in it. Mm. In our case, we'll hand off. We do, as they say, fee-based financial planning, but most of that is done by a guy that we work with by the name of Pete Zavanovic, a former economics major at St. Olaf College, my alma mater, and in fact we ended up having the same student advisor 30 years apart, so that's kind of fun, but that's all he does, so he's very good at it. Our president also is heavily involved in that. He spent some money and now has a couple of people doing full-time research for him in the markets and various investment things. So we think we differentiate ourselves somewhat from that aspect.
Do you separate out? Do you do stocks and bonds and commodities and all that as well, or are you mutual funds primarily? And
well, I do almost no mutual funds. I'm primarily doing stocks and ETFs. I much prefer ETFs. That's short for Exchange Traded Fund. And the reason I do ETFs is I think they have three benefits over mutual funds. First benefit that I think most people would like is that the underlying management fee for most exchange traded funds is about half of that for a similar mutual fund. The next benefit, and I think is a real benefit if you're not talking qualified money, is they get special tax treatment. An exchange-traded fund gets something called like-kind exchange tax treatment. So if the portfolio manager in an ETF buys and sells something in less than 12 months, which would normally be treated as short-term capital gains, and it is in mutual funds, and you try explaining to a client how it is that they're paying income tax on a mutual fund that lost 20% in value during the year. Right? If we're looking back at the early 2000s, they don't understand it, and that's because the mutual fund manager was doing short-term trading, and they got nailed with income taxes on it. Doesn't happen with an exchange-traded fund. You control whether you're going to get long-term capital gains treatment or not by how long you own the ETF. So that's a huge benefit for those who are in non-qualified plans. And last, and one of the best benefits from where I sit, is the ETFs are basically what's called liquid or transparent. I can buy an ETF at 9:03 in the morning. I can sell it at 9:08. I can buy it back at 11:10. I can sell it at 2:15. Now, why does that make a difference from the mutual funds? I never know the price that I'm buying or selling a mutual fund at because they
it's close of business, right?
It's close of business. It's 15 minutes after the close of business that the price is determined.
Right.
So let's say I'm doing my job and I happen to think the market is headed for a downturn. So I want to sell. I can sell the ETF, and let's say you just want to do the indexes. Well, for the Dow, that's DIA. For the S&P 500, that's SPY would be the corresponding ETF. I could sell the SPY at 9:05 in the morning. I won't. I don't sell anything before 9:30. You want to see what happens out. It's very interesting to see what happens in the first 30 minutes of the day.
Right.
So I always want to wait to see exactly what kind of direction the market's going. Yeah, let the market settle in. Well, I could sell it. The market's down $300 for the day, or 300 points. I actually got my client out. Maybe when it's only down 50 points, and did a lot better than I would have doing with a mutual fund that's going to realize the full 300-point down. Now, that's it on the negative side. Let's take the positive side. We see in the market do, at least on the Dow, 100-point moves all the time.
Right.
Let's say I buy in the morning at 17.7, and at the end of the day, it's at 17.900. Well, the client made a profit that day. In the mutual fund, he didn't make any money at all. He's buying at 17.9.
Do you actually do that, though? I mean, that sounds like a lot of immediate self-management. Maybe not you, but people within your company. In theory, that's what you can do, right? But
do people do that? Is that the question, Keith?
Yeah. Well, I do that, at least in what I'm managing. Now, I'm not trading every day, okay? Right. I don't trade that often, but I might take the clients out of the market 2 to 3 times a year, decide that the market's going to get out, and then, of course, I got to figure out when to get back in, so I will be looking to see what's going on. Plenty of other things to look at, technical analysis, you take a look at candlesticks, you take a look at trends, all sorts of things. But the point is the ETFs do allow you the flexibility, and yes, I'm not trading at the end of the day on ETFs.
Right.
Are you doing things to right now short the market, doing anything like that? Can you put in puts and stops and play the negative of the market?
I can for my own account. We don't really have options trading capability for most of the clients. It's a sore spot with me, in all honesty. The reason is, of course, we have compliance, which everyone needs to have. But compliance historically tends to think of options as being a risky investment. All right, so if you're dealing with clients that are moderate or moderate growth, they don't even qualify to do options. So therefore, I can't do that for them. Now, I happen to think buying a put, as you say, or writing a covered call on something that you own is actually less risky than not having the ability to do options. But, our hands are tied with whom we're going, and frankly, you're right, most of the clients really wouldn't understand how options work. But yes, I would, given the choice, I might be talking about some puts. And as long as you brought it up, let's tell you the way to protect against the market with puts.
Right.
The way to do that, and it's not the way most people are doing it, is you would buy the put, and you'd like to buy it out long term, somewhere between 6 and 12 months out. That can be expensive. At the time you think you need the put, it's going to be too expensive to buy. That's why you want to buy out 6 to 12 months, and what you do is you buy the puts when the volatility index is below 13, which happens a couple times during the year. And as the volatility index moves up, as it will, as people are worried about where the market's going to go,
right,
you end up making money on your puts.
Correct.
There is a Greek concept called gamma. Basically, if you're buying the puts at around 13, for every 1 point that the volatility goes up, you're making about 40 cents on the put. So if you go out and buy a 8-month put out there when the volatility is around 13, you can probably buy a put on the S&P for around $2.50. Well, think about it. As the volatility goes from 13 to 20, you've just made $2.80 on a $2.50 investment. That's pretty good downside protection.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily get rid of your portfolio at that time. You are just going ahead and protecting it with the put.
Great.
What if so with your client base now, when you see a market moving in one direction or another, what kind of advising? How often are you talking to people? How do you stay in contact with them that you keep? First of all, just keep them informed about the direction of the market, and advise them on what they can do to either protect themselves against the downside or take advantage of a moving market.
Well, on some of the clients, I send out a weekly kind of summary of the market, typically on Mondays, and giving them an idea where they're going, and I break it into what's happened in the past week, and then I have a little section called technical analysis, and I'm talking about, where we're looking at for what would normally be called support and resistance. We'll call it supply and demand. Give them some idea as to where we think we're going. Last week, if we're talking about it, I indicated the spot that we're worried about is somewhere between 2050 and 2060 on the SPY. If it goes down below that, we're probably headed south a bit more than what we would expect. On the upside, we obviously would like to clear 2100, and if that happens, we'll probably make 2134. But gives them an idea of what we're looking for. 2 days ago, intraday, we did get down below 2050, but it closed above that. I think we were back above 2060 2 days ago. I haven't had a chance to check yesterday's because my oldest daughter, for Mother's and Father's Day, took me and my wife Nancy to the Paul McCartney concert last night.
Oh, so, fun.
Fabulous concert. But I didn't have a chance to check the markets as a result.
That's awesome.
If someone was unsatisfied or unhappy with their current investment advisor, what's the best number to get a hold of you?
Well, the main number for Diversified Wealth Management is 612-435-0036 would be the office manager, Jean Marie. If you wanted to get a hold of me directly, it would be 612-435-0041. If you want to get hold of my partner, Jeff Carlisle, who's with us also. Jeff, your number is?
612-435-0042.
So that's wealth management, Diversified Wealth Management. It's diversifiedwealthmanagement.com. Go to the website, check them out. We'll be right back.
Get that Rack Shack attack, Rack Shack barbecue, yeah.
Hey, it's Kelvin Kaemingk, the money man from Your Real Estate Chalk Talk. It's hard to believe that we're in our 7th season with the show. I love the conversations we have on a weekly basis and know that I'm here to help you with your new purchase or refinance. We never charge an origination fee, so don't believe your lender when they say it's a required or standard fee. Also, if you mention this ad, I'll cover the cost of your appraisal when we close on your home loan. It's time for a smart conversation. Call me today at 651-231-2500. Again, 651-231-2500. You're going to like the way we work. American Mortgage and Equity Consultants, NMLS number 150953.
Relief in Tucson Red.
feeling better in Santorini Blue. No matter what the color, Wow One Day Painting gets any job done in a day guaranteed. The experts at Wow One Day Painting take away your stress with a free on-site quote and spotless cleanup. Uniformed, professional, and on time. So stay mellow in yellow and relax when you have Wow One Day Painting on the job. Call Wow One Day Painting, 1-888-969-1329. WowOneDayPainting.com.
AM 1280, The Patriot. WWTC, Minneapolis, St. Paul. The official radio station of Decision 2016. The most important election of our lifetime.
With SRN News, I'm Michael Harrington in Washington. Now that he's the presumptive Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump is taking